Good evening, and welcome to iOS Club Demo Day. We are so excited to host you today for perhaps the biggest demo day we've ever done. At iOS Club, like we said in the video, we love to experiment with new and innovative technologies. And in many ways, this is a new chapter for iOS Club. Today, you will see by far the most creative collection of apps you have ever seen from the club. And our teams have worked so hard to make today a reality over the past 4 months. And I hope you'll agree at the end of the show that this is indeed a new chapter for the club. Now, we put together a really short video to show you how far we've really come in just the last 2 years. And I'd like to run that for you right now. All right, so thank you. Now, at this point, I usually go over a few updates and talk about the club. But since we have so much to cover today, I'd like to get right into it and hand it off to our VP of Projects, Arena. So let's give her a huge round of applause.
Thank you, Rahul. So I'm super excited for Demo Day today. This semester, we have 5 incredible apps, and we have a wide variety of apps also, all using the latest technologies ranging from AI/ML to augmented reality. We've even expanded to developing multi-platform apps, so now not only do members have the chance to learn iOS development, but they also have the chance to develop on an Apple Watch or MacBook. So we have 3 awards that teams will be competing for today. We have Best App, which is our overall winner based on the judges' overall ratings. Last semester, we also introduced Best Design to recognize the outstanding contributions of our designers. And last, we have Popular App, which will give you guys, as the audience, the chance to vote for your fan favorite. Now for the prizes. Best App today will be winning AirTags for the entire team, including a lunch sponsored by the College of Computing. Thank you to Onisha and the College of Computing for making that happen. So now let's talk about how the teams will be judged. Teams will be evaluated on pitch content and delivery. So how effectively does the team present their project today? Is their pitch engaging and compelling? App purpose. Does the app take an innovative approach to solving a real-world problem, and how well does it meet the needs of its target users? Next, we have UI and UX. So how thoughtfully designed is the app? Does the design provide a seamless user experience? And does the app offer a standout experience compared to existing apps? And last, we have coding concepts. How well does the app utilize emerging technologies to enhance its functionality? So now that we know how teams will be judged, I'd like the judges to introduce themselves.
Okay. Hey, folks. I guess I'm starting things off. I am Han Moy. I was a member of the iOS club from 2018 to 2022. And after graduating in 2022, I've been working for a big tech company out in the Bay Area. Really looking forward to everything that you have built. I was also a part of the first year of projects in 2022. So very excited. I'll hand it over to Cal Stephens.
Cool. Good to see everyone. Happy to be back here at Georgia Tech today. My name is Cal Stevens. I was involved in iOS Club right from the start in 2015, and I was the president from 2017 or in 2017 and 2018, and then graduated in 2019. It seems like you guys have come quite a long way. I don't even seem to. We didn't used to have projects, so I'm really excited to see how that's going to up level the work that everyone's doing. And like Tim Moy, I live out here in San Francisco now, so. Looking forward to seeing what you have. Sorry, I don't know who's next. Fletcher.
Yeah, sorry, I'm
My bad.
next. I'm Fletcher Wells. I graduated in 2022. I'm originally from Ohio. I'm currently living in New York City. I'm been a software engineer at Amazon for a little over 2.5 years. I've published a couple apps. Our most recent one has 50,000 users, but I won't plug it this time. And yeah, that's basically me. So happy to be here, y'all. That's it.
Hey everyone, I'm Phil. It's great to be back, even virtually. I currently live out here in the Bay Area as well, and I worked at Apple for a couple of years, and I'm currently a founding engineer at a startup here in the Bay Area. Super exciting to see where the club is and how far we've come. Super excited to see all of the projects.
Hi, everyone. My name is Malik. I was part of the club from 2017 to 2021. It's really great to see that it's still going and that you have projects now. Sounds really cool. After Georgia Tech, I was at Apple for about 3.5 years, and now I'm doing my own software company out here in San Francisco as well. And excited to see your projects.
Hi everyone, I'm Shahar. I was an iOS club from 2021 and to 2022. We worked on Musical, which was the first project that won the project competition. Currently, I'm doing work in the government, and I'm working on a side project that is pretty much like a graphics library that runs on Metal. If anyone is interested, let me know. Other than that, I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with in your projects.
Hi guys, I'm Christina. I graduated in 2022 and I am a front-end engineer, and I am super excited to see what you guys come up with.
Okay, great. Thank you, judges. We're all super excited that you guys are able to be here today. And without further ado, I'd like to hand it off to the first project, which is Keepsake.
Hey everyone, my name's Rick, and I'm here to present our app Keepsake. Before we dive into the demo, I want to give you guys a bit of background on what inspired us to build this. Journaling and scrapbooking are powerful tools for reflection, self-expression, and preserving the moments that matter most. However, traditional approaches can feel a little boring and repetitive. It often feels more like a chore than something you genuinely enjoy. So we set out to create a better way to relive and capture our memories. By combining augmented reality scrapbooks, AI-powered journaling, and a watch companion app, we've made journaling more dynamic, interactive, and fun. With Keepsake, you can truly bring your memories to life. Here are the features that we'll be covering: journals, watch companion, scrapbooks, and the community. I'm gonna hand it off to Alec to talk about journals.
Thanks, Rick. Let's jump right into what it's like to journal with Keepsake. Once I open the app, I'm brought to my last used journal shelf, which for me happens to contain my monthly journals. Once we let the app launch. So let's just continue to update April because that's what I've been doing so far. And once I get into the journal, I can see all my widgets containing the text entries, the voice memos, the conversations, and the pictures that I've already added to my journal. And I can click into any of these entries to see them in their entirety. But for right now, I'll use our page jumping feature to navigate to one of my favorited pages, holding a conversation I had with our AI companion, Echo. I find these conversations to be a great way to add important information to my journal, such as nutrition advice, while also giving me another way to express my thoughts. But now that I'm done revisiting this old entry, let's instead create a new page. Since I'm in need of a bit of inspiration, I'll create a page from one of our default templates. And now that I have all these widgets to fill out, I'll start with the text widget. I know I want to talk about finals because it's been on my mind a lot recently, so I start typing. Unfortunately, I don't quite know what to say. Thankfully, Echo will chime in, giving me some suggestions of some ways I can expand upon my thoughts. I can even take it a step further and select from a list of our AI-generated prompts to help give my conversation a better sense of direction. But moving away from this text entry, if I decide that my current page template isn't quite suiting my needs, I can still decide to add my own entries. So let's add a voice memo. Rick, why don't you tell us how you're feeling about finals?
Finals are making me super stressed out.
Okay, that's not good, but I'll add it to my journal anyways. And once I get back to my journal page, I'll be able to see all the widgets automatically resize to account for this new entry. And I'm not done quite yet because I still want to add some creative flair to my journal. So let me take advantage of our stickers feature, giving me a collection of stickers AI generated to match the contents and the vibe of the page. So once I add that, my journal is awesome. Now, you might think that as I continue to add more and more things to my journal, it might be hard to find older entries, which is exactly why we've implemented our own vector search. This search allows me to compare the semantic contents of entries across the entire journal with a query, enabling me to find old entries with ease, such as an old workout log. But with that, I think I'm pretty much satisfied with my journaling experience for the day, so let me back out of my journal and let me go back to my library where I can see all my entries in their entirety. I'll hand off now to Nitya to talk about our watch companion.
Thanks, Alec. Keepsake's watchOS companion allows the user to record thoughts and feelings felt in the moment so that when they replay their audio, they're able to bring focus back to these thoughts and expand on it when they journal. When the user is done with their voice recording, they're able to select a date. This date serves as a reminder for the user to come back, listen to their audio recording, and then write a deeper reflection on this in the main journaling app. A notification is sent at the time and date that the user has picked. And when clicked on, this notification will take the user to their audio files, which is stored on the phone. On the profile page, you can see all the audio files. You can check them off, delete them, as well as play them back. And when you're ready to make your new journal entry, perhaps with some of the thoughts from one of these audio files, you can see that on your profile, your daily streaks will update accordingly. And this is a great way to motivate users to consistently journal. Next, I'll be handing it off to Shonak to talk about AR scrapbooks.
Thanks, Nitya. Scrapbooks are a flagship immersive feature that allows users to blend their digital memories with reality. Let's see how you can make one. You can create one just like you create a journal by customizing its title and how it looks in your bookshelf. Once you create one, you can open it into your blank canvas. Here, you can open your toolbar and start adding things to your scrapbooks. You can add images, and when you add an image, you can customize its frame. Let's add a Polaroid frame to this one. As you can see, you can move it around your 3D space to create an immersive experience. Let's add another picture, this time without a frame. Again, you can move it around however you like. You can also add text boxes. When you add a text box, you can customize the text itself, as well as things like its font, font size, and attributes like if it's bolded. Just one more second while Rick adds a text box. Nice. Another exciting feature of our scrapbooks is real-time collaboration, allowing multiple users to edit one scrapbook at once. Since we can't live demo 2 phones, we'll show a quick demo video.
Yo, that trip was fire.
Yo, you should make a scrapbook of it.
You have some of the pictures.
Let's just make a shared scrapbook.
Awesome. Let's see how this works. We use the Reality Kit framework for the augmented reality side, which allows users to add entities into their scrapbook. And these are the pictures and text boxes. Next, we use the multi-peer connectivity framework, which allows you to discover users nearby and provide real-time updates. When one user makes a change on their scrapbook, all the data for that entity, such as an image, gets passed over to the next phone. This includes its position, XYZ coordinates, rotation, scale, and the contents of the entity itself. So when one user makes a change, it syncs up in real time for the other user. Next, I'll hand it off to Shlok to talk about our community page.
Thanks, Shonik. So going along with this whole collaboration theme, our app has this wonderful community page where you can actually view user scrapbooks that have been made public. So you can look through these, and if there's one that you really like, you can bookmark it, go to the Save section, and now you can view that scrapbook whenever you want. And we can also search for specific users. So let's go ahead and search for Shonik, click on his name, and we can actually look at his spring break scrapbook. So once this loads up, we can see his spring break scrapbook, and we can see the title and the different images within it. And once we can look at his other scrapbook too, scrap it, you can see the text files. And then once we're satisfied with that, we can actually add Shonik as a friend, clicking the Add Friend button. If we go back, go to the profile page, click View Friends, we can actually see that we've added Shonik as a friend, which helps grow our Keepsake community. So with all these features, like journals, watch, scrapbook, and community, we give you Keepsake. Thank you. Also, thank you to all our members that helped create this app during this semester. We couldn't have done it without you. Thank you.
Thank you, Keepsake. Do the judges have any questions for the team?
Yeah, I did have one question. You mentioned in the search feature that you used vector-based search and semantic lookup and stuff like that. Is that something you rolled yourself, or are you using a specific system or API or library or framework?
Yeah, we used Firebase's integrated vector search extension. So it allows us when we put vectors or when we put our entries into Firebase, it actually encodes them with the embeddings formula that Firebase provides, and then we can use their vector search functionality.
Cool.
Any other questions?
I was curious about your AI-based suggestions. Curious what you used to implement that, if you're using a local language model or a cloud-based one, and what you see as the privacy implications of that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we use OpenAI's framework. Obviously, again, there are maybe security implications, but we could always transition to working with an LLM. If this were to be expanded to an actual app, we would probably have our own server where we could run an LLM. But for this case, for prototype purposes, we used OpenAI's API.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Anything else?
So you guys have a ton of different features in the app. What was like the decision-making process for how to decide what features to include with the app?
Yeah, I think we mainly just drew inspiration about like what kind of features could we add to make journaling and scrapbooking more excited. So like for scrapbooking, for instance, we were like, instead of just pasting pictures onto a 2D page, how can we make it more immersive and add a 3D experience? For journaling, instead of just writing in a page, how can we add different types of entries? How can we make it easier for the user, make it more motivating and more exciting? All right, I hand it back to Rena.
Okay, great job, Keepsake. Okay, and our next team presenting will be Architect.
Thank you. Hey guys, welcome to Architect. Architect is an app that lets users become an architect for their own space by bringing interior design ideas into the real life with the power of mixed reality. Now that sounds really familiar, doesn't it? Quite indeed. We have a lot of existing solutions already. For example, Amazon allows you to try out furniture virtually. IKEA is similar, except it's for its own products. The problem though is when you're buying products on Amazon or IKEA, you're not really interacting with the rest of the community, Amazon users, IKEA users. You're not getting inspired by them. On the other hand, Pinterest allows you to interact with a community of users and you can get inspirations from them. So here's how we come into the picture. We try to combine all the goodies from each product into one single app that lets users become an architect for their own space by converting their ideas into tangible entity so that they can share with others. And we support several core features. For starters, we support trying furniture, multiple of them, simultaneously. Second, we make it easy for businesses to upload 3D models of their products onto our app so that other users can use it. Finally, we have a community of architects where you can interact with them and get inspirations. Let's talk a little more about the second feature. As a sneak peek into our app, we support object capture. You can scan any real-world object, and then we can convert this object into a 3D model. The technology behind that is an iPhone Pro. Using the LiDAR, our app can construct a 3D point cloud of these real-world object. After completion, you can drag, rotate, size it up. And with that being said, let's get to the exciting part. I'll hand it off to Lynn to do the live demo of our app.
Thanks, Steven. Now that you've got all the background, let's see how it all comes together. As you can see, we support Google and Apple login. And as an existing user, I can just tap and log in. This is where you'll see all the created projects. We'll talk about what a project is shortly, but for now, let's first take a look at the furniture library. Like Steven mentioned earlier, with the object capture function, everyone is able to scan an object and upload it for others to try. Let's see what it looks like in preview. And now we can try it in our own space. And finally, we can create a project. From this list, I'm gonna choose the furniture that I like and put it in the AR space. You can drag it, move it around, and now I can add another piece of furniture. You can arrange the layout and setup. And once you're satisfied with it, you can capture a snapshot and save it. And a really cool thing is that when other people see it, they can view it immersively. And with that, I'll hand it over to Amir.
Thank you. Okay, so for another portion of our app, we have a social media aspect. So you can interact with other people's posts, such as Bob, Sam, and you can see that they have their own posts, and you can interact with it by both liking it and pressing the comments. You can write down a comment in case you do enjoy their idea, or you cannot. Additionally, you can see more information about that post by going within it. Here we can see that within this post, they use two different furniture models. They use the chair and they also use the couch. If you want, you can click one of those icons and you can see the chair that they used as well as related items to it. If you want, you can also do it for the couch, and then you can also use a menu item to actually see the, you can share it and you can also hide it from your own view. Additionally, what's the point of sharing a post if you can't actually see what they had for their environment? So one feature of our app is if you click the post once more, it takes you into the actual room that the person who shared it had. Here, as we can see, they use the couch model, and if they look around the room, they also used a chair model. And if you want, you can look at the information about it by just double tapping it, and you can see a description about it. You can also do the same thing with the couch, and that is our social media aspect for our app.
Thanks, Amir. Now our iOS app looks great, but what if I told you we can bring this into an entirely new dimension? It's time for an upgrade. Welcome to Vision Pro. As we enter our app in the Vision Pro, we're greeted with a landing page with a list of featured furniture items. Just give it a second. Yep. From here, we can pinpoint to exact furnitures by using the filters we defined above. Let's take a look at the living room filter. Within this, we see a list of featured furnitures that has to do with living rooms. And the Monarch Ivory sofa looks pretty good. Let's take a look at it. From this view, we can see we can share, like, rate this furniture, and also look at its description. If we click onto it, we see a more detailed description. We're also able to add this furniture to our cart if we would like to. And last thing, we can preview this furniture in our own space. Once we click on the preview button, we're able to represent this furniture in 3D real time in our scene. We can drag it around and move the position of it to fit whatever we need. Now let's go back. Outside of this list of featured furnitures, we can also take a look at the furniture library. Within this, we have a list of all available furniture's 3D models in our app, and it's rendered in 3D real time. We can walk around and interact and play around with it. Similar to last post, we can also press the preview button to preview in your own space. And similarly, we can also drag it around to change the position of the object. And now let's go back. Let's look at the next amazing feature of our app, immersive space. Once we go into the immersive space, we're greeted with a list of all the community posts made by the community of architects. If we like, we can click into the post, and we're greeted with a 30% immersive view of the post, because we don't want to overwhelm the user at first. Now, with the help of the digital crown, we can expand our immersive view to 360 degrees. From now, we can see the entire post in 360 degrees with every little detail. One additional feature is we can add dropped pinned comments wherever we like and share it across to all the other users. We can see if I want to say the table is really cool, I can add a drop comment and place it on top of the table, like this. And yeah, this concludes our Vision app demo. Now let's talk about the talk about the tech stack that made this all possible. We use a few key different frameworks that helps bring the app to life. First up is Reality Kit. Reality Kit is used for 3D rendering of the models, so that it allows us to have multiple objects and animate them in real time, real space in an efficient manner. Next, we have Reality Composer Pro. With this, it allows us to have customized 3D assets, and with the help of shader graph, we can experience with advanced lighting so that our objects can look more realistic. And finally, we have instruments. Since our app deals with heavy 3D objects, performance is a key task. Instruments allows us to check the bottlenecks that we're facing and make sure our app runs very smoothly and the UI is very responsive. This is just the beginning. From 2D to 3D, from screen to scene, this is Architect. And here we have a list of contributing members. Thank you.
Do you have any questions for our team?
I have one question. I'm just curious how you did the part where you can like scan in objects from your like environments into like 3D models.
Sorry, can you say the question again?
Uh, how did you implement the part where you like scan in like real objects into 3D models?
So, excuse me. So with iPhone Pro comes with a pre-installed LiDAR, and iPhone provides a rich library of object capture functionality. It has a lot of wheels already built for us, so we can leverage. Essentially, Apple has like a sample code where once you download it, you can just capture the object, and then it's like already like out there. And then we just make some tweaks to it so that um, after the conversion is complete, you can drag the object around and size it up and down.
Yeah, gotcha.
I have
I'll
a
add another question. Go ahead, Malik.
okay. Cool project. So I was curious if you had to describe like your user base. Is it like just regular people trying to move stuff around in their house, or more interior designers and like basically like some of the use cases, and what target users?
So our targeted audience is people who are into interior designs and who like to try out furnitures. And then we are also very targeting people who are habitually buying products, but they don't have enough time and resources to go out to in-person stores to try out one by one. And so that's the target audience that we are trying to like find. And also on the other hand, our target audience is twofold. Besides the users I just described, we also have businesses side. So as I described earlier, we allow object capture. So the businesses who are manufacturing these furnitures, they can upload their models to our app so that other people can try it. So that's our second group of audience.
Oh, thanks.
And my question was also along these lines. What inspired you to pick this as your target audience as opposed to having it be as wide as possible for the initial version? Because uh, a lot of people might be interested in taking nerves or scanning models and then sharing them, but not particularly interested in interior design or furniture.
So we could potentially expand upon furniture into a much wider area, but the inspiration of this app came from my frustration personally toward trying out furniture and then having no community to like explore with. So yeah, there's definitely a possible consideration for us looking into the future.
I just want to add on a little bit. At first, at the beginning, we did imagine our app to spread to as wide as audience as possible. But in terms of features and design choices, we later found out that all of these complicated like sharing posts and stuff, it's better fit to the interior designers in general, where they can design, share ideas, and explore other people's preferences. But also, yeah, this app is designed with the fundamental that you can try out furnitures within your home and maybe even go out to like IKEA,
Awesome.
Walmart, or
Thank
something
you.
and scan their furniture.
I had a question too. Yeah, I don't normally expect to see the instruments app, get listed in a demo day, as a tool your app is built on. So that's cool to see. What was an example of a bottleneck that you had to use instruments to identify and then ultimately fix in the performance side?
Yeah, so the bottlenecks arise particularly in the Vision OS app development. As as we were developing multiple furniture being present in the scene, we noticed there was a hang significantly, and there was like a very unresponsiveness UI that we were noticing. And so we use Reality Tracer to like Reality Kit Profiler to trace the GPU performance, and we found that it was the shaders that were kind of dragging the whole performance. And so after we removed the shader, we moved the shaders out of the main thread. It kind of improved the UI responsiveness. So that's how we like found bottlenecks through um, instruments.
I have just one more question. You guys are
Okay,
done
that
with
was
that one.
another amazing app.
Oh.
And now I'm going to hand it off to our next pitch, which is from Study Buddy.
Thank you, Arena. All right, everyone. We here at Study Buddy understand that studying can be daunting for many of you, especially here at GT. Now, you might have gone through hundreds of exams at this point, or you're just starting your journey here at GT. But regardless, we understand that there's always that one class that feels impossible to study for. There's an overwhelming amount of content to study through, and you have a limited amount of time, so you have to prioritize whether you're going to go through the lecture notes or the textbook readings, or you might even spend hundreds of hours going through all the content, but not have enough time reviewing what you just studied. Now, studies show that spaced repetition is a powerful tool to study, but so the faster you can start quizzing yourself, the better you'll end up doing. So what if there was a way that you can start quizzing yourself immediately without spending many hours parsing through what's important and not important? Meet Study Buddy, an AI-powered study companion that transforms your course materials into personalized study tools. Now, Gustavo's going to go through a demo of the application.
Thank you, TJ. Now, I'm going to show you how our app works. First, you go into your Mac and you upload your study materials. Usually we're working on Canvas and we can download all of our files like the class slides and stuff like that. So you select them and then they will be uploaded and stored into the cloud so that they're accessible from all of your devices. You can choose whether to keep them private or make them public so that everyone at the school can get access to your own practice materials. Next, you create a study set where you organize all of the related files. For example, let's say I'm studying for my midterm tomorrow. I'll make a study set for my high performance computing class, midterm 2. And finally, you study your flashcards. These flashcards are AI generated, as I will show next. They will help you to keep track of your flashcard mastery, add, you can also add or edit cards, and finally, you can collaborate. You can share your sets or keep them private too, but by collaborating, we can help all of the school work together towards getting better grades. Now Ethan will go through the app. So first, as I said, let's take the scenario where I'm practicing for my midterm tomorrow. The first step is, now that my files are uploaded from my Mac, I'll create a study set. I'll call it demo day. Yeah. So now I select the files, all of the related files. Now that they're selected, I can go back into the home screen and go to that study set. And if I click on the brain button, we are using the OpenAI API to analyze the contents of the document and automatically generate the flashcards. This takes a little bit because of the internet connection. Now that that's done, we can go into the study tab. And you can see all of the flashcards for my exam 4 for CS 3510. You can choose whether you can swipe right if you already know the term, or you can swipe left if you feel like you need more repetition. And once we're done, you can see that our progress for this session was 65%. We've mastered 65% of the terms. Now if we go back, we can go into the chatbot tab. This will allow us to interact with the contents of the file directly. For example, I can ask, like, what are the most likely questions that will come up in an exam about this topic? And then after a little bit of loading and thinking, yeah, we can see the answer. So you can generate the contents, and we can also use it as a tutor where it can take in your own content and the content that your professors are giving you instead of just the general content that is available on the internet. Now, Ethan will tell us more about the benefits of our app.
Thanks, Gustavo. So as you can see, Study Buddy is a powerful learning tool. It helps you get to the core of what you really need to learn, cut down on all that wasted time, and it helps you really retain that knowledge through flashcard exercises. As a bonus, it's always there for you, whether that's late at night or right before an exam when you really need to cram. For the future of Study Buddy, we're looking for even better learning tools to help enhance your experience, such as generating entire problem sets or exams, having a side-by-side tutor for when you're looking through your documents, and we're looking forward to having better analyzing of media types. So we have a larger data set for Study Buddy to help you with your studying. But for now, we hope you consider Study Buddy as your next study tool and join the learning revolution.
Thank you, Study Buddy. Do the judges have any questions for the team?
I noticed that the Mac version of your app was Catalyst based. Was this a conscious decision based on the tech stack you're using? Can you go into a little bit more detail about the decision making there?
Yeah, of course. I think the main reason was that the Firebase SDK is like it works better with iOS apps, so it's better to use it like as an iPad OS app with Catalyst instead of trying to use it as a native Mac app.
Okay, makes sense.
Oh, sorry. Go for it. How do you tell your iOS users about the Mac app or how to go upload their files? Is there an experience for that?
Yeah, part of it is that will be present in the onboarding, telling them about like the multi-platform capability, and like another one of the features that is in the pipeline is using an on-device LLM. So we will also promote the Mac app as like, since it has a more powerful processor, it's better to use it for the flashcard and all the AI stuff.
Okay, thank you, Study Buddy. Now I'm gonna hand it off to our next team, which is Gauge.
We've all encountered those late night conversations. Someone drops a bombshell opinion, and the group chat erupts. And suddenly, you're way too invested in whether waffles are better than pancakes. So, we made an app for that. We're Gauge, where takes ignite talk. We created a space to share your hottest takes, see how your friends respond, and start some arguments that actually matter. Sorry. That bring people closer together. Whether you're passionately pro pineapple pizza or still arguing over whether water is wet, Gauge invites you to take your side with just a swipe. It all begins with onboarding. Here, the user will select their favorite categories after creating an account. It's quick, simple, and all about you. We also ask the user for some information to fill out their profile, so we get more information and others learn more about you rather than just seeing your takes. Once you've onboarded, you're ready to start answering takes. The user will do this through their feed, and Patrick will walk you through how that works.
Thanks, Austin. Now we're in the heart of our app. Almost. Now we're in the heart of the app, the feed, where you can choose and vote on your takes. So this is the first way that we can interact with our post, and that's through binary posts. There are two clear sides that you can choose from. You can either swipe left or you can swipe right to vote yes or no. And once you're happy with your vote, you can swipe up to see how you stand among everyone else. However, it's not just about casting your vote. You're dropping into a live conversation because as users vote, comment, upvote, and downvote, all of these are updated in real time. You can also join in on the conversation by adding your own comment by clicking the Add Comment button, typing in your response, and clicking Post for everyone else to see. Let's swipe down for our next post. This is our second way to interact, and that's through a slider post. You can grab the dot in the middle to slide to see where you stand, because some takes just aren't so black and white. And just like on the binary post, we can also swipe up to submit, and we can see where you stand on a beautiful bar chart. And that looks great. So let's swipe down and see more. Say, for instance, you're not interested in this take. Well, just like how we dismissed the post, we can also swipe down to skip as well. And maybe you changed your mind and you do want to see the results of that post. Well, you can always click the undo button to unskip and restore the previous post. We as designers worked really hard to power our intuitive interface through gestural navigation. But this feed wouldn't be possible without our AI-powered algorithm. Here's Chris to tell you more.
Thanks, Patrick. Our algorithm adapts in real time to the way you interact with the app, based on things like how your relationship with a poster. So are you friends with them or do you interact with their posts a lot? We also look at specific things about each post, like how hot a take is, or if the categories and topics of the post are similar to the categories and topics we generate for you in the background as you interact with the app. All of these things come together to create a point-based system that continually updates as you interact with the app to make sure that your feed always has takes that you're actually interested in. But of course, the feed would be nothing without the posts themselves. So let me show you how to make one. So the first thing you'll do is you'll click the create post button at the top of the feed. You'll input a take. We'll make one about Apple and Android here. You'll select your post type, select your labels, and then select your categories. And notice we have suggested categories which are powered by AI to make the process faster for every user. Finally, you'll review your post and send it out to the world. Now, you're not always only going to want to see the posts that show up on your feed. That's why we created two powerful ways to search through Gauge. I'll hand it over to Anthony to talk about that.
Thanks, Krish. First, we have category search. This is perfect when you want to catch up on takes within a certain topic, like the NFL, food, or tech. At the top, you'll see your personalized AI-ranked categories based on what you engage with the most. Just tap one and you'll see everything related to that topic. Next, we have gauge search. This is when you have an idea of what you want to see, but don't have the right word or category to match it. It uses vector search, so it searches based on meaning, not just keywords. So if we were to search up the term development, you'll still see results for iOS Club and coding, even if those posts don't include the word development themselves. Behind the scenes, we do this by turning your queries and the posts into vector embeddings, which are numbers that represent their meanings. This allows us to compare them directly and find you the posts that are most relevant to your search. And that's take time, and it just went live. Every day at a random time, all users on Gauge get the same set of takes to respond to. The takes are generated using AI based on what's trending in the community, so they're always relevant. It's a daily moment where everyone gets to weigh in on the same hot topics. And once you respond to your take time, you can see everybody else's responses on their stories. Now, to see how those responses and your friends' responses all come together, I'll hand it over to Amber to walk us through the profile screen.
Thanks, Anthony. Now let's check out a profile. At the top of the screen, you can see a gauge. Your gauge tells you and other users just how controversial you and your takes are. And below that, you'll see your posts, the votes that you've the takes that you've responded to, your comments, badges that you've earned, your statistics, as well as your favorited posts, all of which is updated live. Now, let's say you want to check up on your friends. If you click the friends icon next to your username, you'll see a list of friends, and you'll also see your incoming requests that you can accept. You can also navigate to their profiles, and from here, you can see the posts that they've created, as well as the takes that they've responded to. So this can spark a lot of debate. Additionally, if you click on the user's profile picture, you will see their take time results.
all of which is presented to you in a story format. So you can really get to see all that they had to say today. And now, to wrap things up and introduce you to our most chaotic feature yet, I'll pass it over to Akshat to show you guys Take Master.
Thanks, Amber. And now, a way to have some fun with friends in person. Take Master, our very own built-in party game. Here's how it works. We'll first start with creating a game room. Gage uses multi-pair connectivity under the hood, so users can join seamlessly. We can change some settings, and then we can join the game once everyone's in. We'll start by creating a question and an answer that's personal or opinion-based for when we're selected to be the Take Master. When we're the Take Master, others will then try to answer that same question. And you want to try to trick other players into picking your answer instead of the Take Masters. So here we'll see all the answers show up, and then now you have to try and figure out which was the Take Master's original answer. Basically, you're trying to prove how well you know your friends. It's like Jackbox meets Reddit, but instead of drawing on your phone, you're exposing your friends for their hottest takes. But Gage is more than just a game. It's a place to explore diverse opinions, a place to have meaningful conversations, and a place to learn more about your friends in a way that no other app truly captures. With Gage, you can dive into your friends' hottest takes, you can settle arguments in a much more fun way, and you can escape the echo chamber that a lot of these apps have these days through take time stories, posts, and games. We've had a lot of fun building this app, and we've built something that we truly love. And we can't wait for you guys to start making takes on your own. But that's Gage, where takes ignite talk. Thank you.
Okay, great. Do the judges have any questions for Gage?
Yeah, I can really tell you've put a lot of effort into building a delightful user interface. Great job. I was curious about one tiny detail. How did you build that magic move type interaction with the blue button in the creation flow?
We just used all SwiftUI animations. We wrapped a lot of things inside of the with animation wrappers and customized the animations themselves with the different effects.
Okay, makes sense.
Any other questions?
If nobody else does, I was wondering if there was um, any thought about picking a different color scheme for most of your UI elements, because this is a really spicy app, but most of the UI was black and white for the most part. Um, and there was some disconnect between the app logo and like the UI elements. So I was wondering if that is something that was considered in the past, and you just decided that you'd let the content do most of the talking, or there was some other reason.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm one of the I'm the senior designer on this team, and we were coming in with the initial approach of using a lot of bold colors everywhere to really emphasize your takes and making reactions and anything of that sort. But we realized that the absence of color could really, really bring out the emphasis of when you're performing certain actions, such as voting yes or voting no. And we deliberately chose a more muted color palette to kind of convey the neutrality of some of these takes, but then allowing yourself to take a side and take maybe a controversial stand on how you really think about a certain opinion. And so that's why we chose to have the red and the green show up when you're voting and marking your vote, instead of taking a predefined palette to already assign the take that you're looking at. And there is some disconnect between the color of the icon with the gradient approach, as well as the actual color of the slider take. But these are things that we want to continue to work on and bring out more of the visual aspect of it, especially in terms of using shaders to provide more vibrant gradients that react to the user in different and innovative ways.
That's a lovely answer. I think the colors like really pop out when they need to. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Gage. And now I'm going to hand it off to our last project of the day, iPlay.
Thank you, Arena. I'm Danny, and I'm excited to share with you iPlay. Let's set the stage. It's Friday night, you're hanging out with your friends, and everyone's on their phone. Suddenly, someone says, let's play a game. No one wants to deal with the hassle of finding controllers, finding a console to play on, dealing with the wires, etc. All that setup is so tedious. We solve that problem. How do we do it? Turn your phone into a controller. Your phone isn't just like any regular controller. It's a multi-tool. We have all sorts of fun things. We use our phone as a joystick, a touchscreen, a keyboard, a motion controller, and a camera. And then you play the game on your MacBook. Your MacBook is mobile, which allows for you to play anywhere, anytime. You can play in the airport, in the classroom, wherever you'd like. It's easiest to show you with a demo, so let's get right into it. Let me hand it off to Stepan.
Thank you. To get us started, let's show off one of the first games we've made, Infected. In this game, you're going to move around a randomly generated map using a joystick on your phone. One of the people starts as an infected person, and his goal is to spread this infection to other people. And healthy players have to run around and dodge the infected players until the game timer runs out. As a healthy person, you can gain points for every second you survive during the game, and as an infected person, you gain points by tagging healthy players. We utilize SpriteKit in the background to handle the physics and player collisions, and multi-peer connectivity to constantly send the joystick inputs to the Mac, which actually moves the characters. At the end of the game, you can see a leaderboard with everyone's point totals, and this is going to increase as we play more games. And now I'm going to hand it over to Ross to show off Spectrum.
Thank you. So the next game I'll be showing you guys is called Spectrum. It's the fun game you may know as Wavelength, brought right to your phone. So this game, everyone is given a category. This category can rate things on a spectrum from bad qualities on the left to good qualities on the right. One random user will be the hinter, and they will be given a spot on the spectrum and a category, and they have to send a word to all the other users to try to get them to guess that spot. So right now, I guess I'm the guesser. Let's wait for the hinter to give us a hint. So our category is fame of celebrities, and our prompt is Tom Cruise. So I'm thinking Tom Cruise is pretty popular, right? Let's put it on the right and see if that was a good hint for this prompt. All right. And unfortunately, that does not seem like it was a good hint because it should have been all the way on the left. So no one gets any points for this one because it was a bad hint. The points are allocated based on how good the arrows are pointing towards each other. So now I'm the hinter, and I'm given the category worst smells, and the arrow is all the way on the left. So I'm thinking, let's do flowers, because flowers is a good smell, actually. Now the guessers are going to use that hint and the category and guess where on the spectrum it is. And see, they pointed right towards it. So everybody's going to get a lot of points. So that's Spectrum. Next, I'm going to hand it off to the Vedant to show Chain.
Hello, I'm Vedant. I'll be showcasing our unique game Chain, in which we use word association. In our game, players are given two main words, a start word and an end word. In the game, the goal of the player is to go from one to the other by creating a chain of similarly based, semantically based words. For example, in our game you'll see here, we start with the word water, and our target is to get to the word camera. So start with guesses like lake, as you'll see here. To create this, we use Apple's NL embedding, which allowed us to map different words to vectors in vector space using natural language processing. Using this, we can compare any two words and compare their similarity with numerically, allowing us to compare similarity and allowing us to gauge each of these words and their guesses to see if they're on the right track. And as you can see here, some guesses are being rejected and some are being accepted. The closer you are to the word, the more likely you'll be accepted. So you can see our player is now a picturesque and beautiful and is trying to get the camera. And you can see our player has won and a completed chain in 10 steps, from camera to beautiful to picturesque to lake to water. And here we see that the player with the shortest amount of guesses, who is the fastest, actually wins. And that's Shin. Now I'll hand it back to Danny for our next game, Emoji Match.
Here's Emoji Match. It's a pretty simple game. You get prompted with an emoji, you take a picture of your face doing the emoji, and then you vote to see who does the best job. Here we have the happy emoji. So smile, look in the camera, and snap a picture. After you take the picture, you wait for everyone else, and then you vote on who does best. One cool thing we added was an AI bot called Emoji Bot, which gives an extra vote to whichever face matches the emoji the best. Let's see what the pictures look like. As you can see, we have 4 different faces to pick from. In my personal opinion, I think Ross did the best, on the right. I'll take my vote. Once everyone's voted, the scores are tallied up, and you can see who the AI voted for. Here, the AI voted for Ross, and he won with 4 votes. That's Emoji Match. I'll hand it off to Steven to talk about our next game, Dogfight.
Thanks, Danny. Hi, everyone. I'm presenting the last game of our project, which is Dogfight. Dogfight is a game that lets you pilot paper airplanes by tapping into your phone's gyroscope. And yeah, Dogfight is a game that lets you pilot airplanes by tapping into your phone's gyroscope and tilting it to steer left and right. In the game, you can shoot little paper balls on your opponents to try to knock off their lives. And the lives of players are shown in the left corner of the screen. And the purpose of the game is easy, which is trying to avoid running into each other and then trying to be hit by the balls. And of course, be the last one to survive in the air. And that's Dogfight. I will hand back to Danny for go over the things we did.
So, our 5 games we made use all sorts of cool features that are built right into your phone. For example, we used AI to detect who does the best job taking a picture of their face, and also to check if words are similar when you're playing Chain. We used AV Foundation to set up a nice camera, Core Motion to use your phone as a motion detector to steer your plane, and this is all backed by multi-peer connectivity to set up a seamless connection between the computer and the iPhones. With iPlay, our goal is to make gaming fun, accessible, and easy for everyone, anywhere, anytime. Thank you. I'd like to give a quick shout out to my team. Without them, this would not be possible. That's iPlay.
Any questions from the judges?
Yeah. What are the requirements for multi-peer connectivity to discover other devices? Do they have to be on the same Wi-Fi network, for example?
We work through Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Yeah.
Cool.
Any other questions? Great. Thank you.
Okay, well, those were all of our project pitches for today. So while the scores are being finalized, I'm going to hand it off to Aziz to talk about Canvas Plus, iOS Club's first multi-semester project.
Hello, everyone. So I'm sure everyone knows Canvas, right? And for the judges who don't or graduated a bit early, it's the learning management system we use at Georgia Tech to manage our courses, submit assignments, and more. So yeah, all we're doing is we're adding a plus to it, and obviously much more, but we'll see what that looks like in a second. So Georgia Tech, as Arena mentioned, is our first multi-semester initiative. at the iOS Club. So this is our second semester developing it. And one thing we derived from building this multi-semester project is we get to think about the long-term development goals, right? So we're not just thinking about shipping something at the end of the semester and forgetting about it, but we want to publish it and maintain it for a long time. So we'll show you how we worked on that and the features that we built to achieve this. So it's a multi-semester initiative that harmonizes Canvas with student life. So when I say harmonizes, the goal at the end is to connect all the pieces of information you have on Canvas to meet your desires, let's say. So in Canvas is in itself a very good app. Let's just say that. But there are lots of pieces of information which we can connect to perhaps give you information faster or combine information in ways that would take hours. And I'll show you what that means in a second. Let's not get too hasty. Okay, so yeah, we all know the official Canvas app. It's a great app. It has all the features you need, and it's functional with a very robust backend. But what we're trying to do is improve something that's already great. So there are a lot of great apps out there, but every great app can be improved. Isn't that right? So let's see a few things which we can improve and look at how we improve them in a second. So let's look at the course syllabus, for example. So I'm sure a lot of you have experienced this, but professors usually disperse the course syllabi in multiple places. You find it in files, you find it in announcements, or even perhaps a course website which is inaccessible from the default Canvas iOS app. So what if we could combine all of these different locations and have one point of entry for your syllabus? Wouldn't that be great? So we did something to help you with that, but again, I'll show you in a second. So with in regards to the other improvements, which I was mentioning, what if I could see the classes I'm sharing with my friends? Wouldn't that be cool? For example, I see my friend Gerard over here. I have to spend every semester looking for him in the people tabs of my classes, but that's pretty annoying. And we'll show you how we solve that. And at times we wonder, why did our professors assign the wrong weightages for our grades in the gradebook tab? So we fixed that as well. And why did they assign perhaps the wrong grade calculations for each grade weightage? We also fixed that. And as I mentioned, different places for files, including syllabus, is one other concern we had. So yeah, let's look at how we addressed these issues. And the best way to do that is by going into the app with a live demo. So let's do that. Okay, so we have a rich set of features, which I'm about to demonstrate. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay. So let's look at Canvas Plus. Yeah, sorry, just a change in setup over here. Okay, so here is the default page for Canvas Plus. You have everything you see on the official Canvas app with more. So we have our all announcements view where you can see a collated view of all your announcements from all different courses, and it's combined to be reached efficiently. We also have your to-dos view, which also exists on the existing Canvas iOS app, and you have all your courses. And one neat thing is we have a people view which shows you your mutual or the friends that share mutual classes, as I mentioned. So let's look at our VP of Operations, Sanket. I see that Rahul has 5 classes with him. So that's a really neat thing we added. And I'm going to hand it off to the wonderful Rahul to showcase the rest of the app.
Thank you, Aziz. Let's take a look at a few more features that make Canvas Plus stand out and hopefully improve your academic workflow. So as you can see, it's a very familiar and native interface that makes you feel at home on your iOS device. So in addition to announcements and people backtrack, we have pinned items. Now, you know those courses where professors will bury the syllabus document in some folder in the Files app or the Files section of your course? Well, now you can pin that item along with any other announcement or page in a course and see it all in one place. Let's take a look at how that works. So let's go to one of these classes that I'm taking and go to Files, and you can see the syllabus document right there. Now, I don't want to open this every time to just look at the syllabus document, so I can swipe on it and pin it just like that. And if I go to pinned items, I can see all my pinned items in one place, and I can view it just like this. And that is pinned items. Now, I want to show you one more feature, which I think a lot of us will find really helpful during this finals week, and that is a built-in grade calculator in Canvas Plus. And the great thing is that Canvas Plus is available on your phone, which means you can carry this grade calculator anywhere with you, which may or may not be something you want to do. But so let's go into this class. You can see all my grades, which thankfully I picked a good class here. And then I can tap on this button at the top right, and you can see a grade calculator pops up with all these assignments, and I can tap in and change it just like this. Let's say I did not do well on this one, and the grade automatically changes live. So that's the grade calculator, and you can add assignments, you can add assignment groups. It's just what you'd expect. Now, let me switch back to the slides. So these are the 4 simple features that are probably enough to make Canvas Plus a great app already. Now, there are 2 more features that I want to talk about that will enhance the experience even more. And it starts with multi-platform support. So today we have Canvas on iOS and iPadOS, but what if we had a native Mac app for Canvas? And that is what Canvas Plus is about. And secondly, we're adding intelligence right into Canvas. And to take you through this, I'll give you another demo. And this time, let's do it on the Mac. So you can see Canvas Plus here running on the Mac. And let's take a look at intelligence. So I'm going to use this one. So intelligence in Canvas Plus runs locally on device, which means that all LLM models that we're running are running on your device. Nothing is sent up to any server on OpenAI or whatever else is out there today. So for example, I can go in an announcement. Let's say we don't want to read long announcements. We're pretty lazy people. So I can click here. So unfortunately, this is a short announcement, but I'm going to demo it anyway. So you can hit the summarize button and watch what happens. There you go. There's a summary right there. And this ran on my device, which means I can do it without the internet. And none of your data is shared with anyone. So that's a quick look at announcement summaries, which is a very basic intelligence feature that you might expect. Now let's take this a step further. Now, remember that grade calculator I showed you? So let's go back into one of these courses, and you see grades. Now, if you notice, the assignment weights of each of these groups is automatically done for me, which means the professor has done some work to make this Canvas course kind of pleasing. And that also means that the grade that's fetched on Canvas is correct. Now, you know the other courses where this is not the case. So unfortunately, I'm going to call out courses over here. Hopefully, the professors aren't here, but I'm going to click on one of these. And if I go to this course right here, you can see that the assignment groups are all 0%, which means that the grade on Canvas is incorrect, and this is misleading. And in situations like this, we copy all our stuff, paste it into a grade calculator, and then we have to manually assign everything. What if we could automate all of this using Canvas Plus intelligence? So let's take a look. Now you can see Canvas Plus is automatically suggesting using the intelligent grade calculator. So I'm going to use it. So I get started, and you can see it's prompting me to select a syllabus document from the course. So I'm going to select the syllabus document, which I know is right here. And this is the home page of the course. I'm going to scroll down very quickly. So you can see this is the actual weightage of all these assignments. So let's go ahead and use this. And now we witness magic live. So, so I analyze the document, and let's watch what happens. So it's fetching the weights from the syllabus, and there we go. Those are the weights from the syllabus document. Yes. Thanks, guys. So, I mean, this is pretty cool, right? Like, so now the best thing is I had to do basically zero work to get the correct weights, and I can click on one button, and it's automatically imported, and you can see this is the correct grade I have in the course. And that is a quick look at intelligence in Canvas Plus. So those are the few features that make up Canvas Plus, and we think it's going to highly accelerate your workflow in college. Now, we use on-device intelligence, and we use caching that's all done locally. It's not sent to any server. We don't even use any cloud server, so everything stays on your device, so you don't need to worry about that being leaked. And we use secure authentication that goes through Canvas and GT to make sure you're logged in correctly. So that is Canvas Plus. You see a native, familiar UI with pinned items, a built-in grade calculator, multi-platform support with iPad and Mac, and Canvas Plus Intelligence. Now you're asking yourselves, when can you get your hands on this? So the best part is we're doing a public beta this Friday, and later today we will send out a beta form for you to sign up. Thank you. And that is Canvas Plus. So you saw the six amazing projects. So what do you think? How do you like the projects? Now, I hope you noticed throughout all of these projects the tight integration between the features and the design. And design at iOS Club has never been better than this semester. I'm going to hand it off to our VP of Design, Gabe, to tell you more about the process of design.
Thank you so much, Rahul. Yeah, so as you saw, these projects today are absolutely amazing. I don't know about you, but I've been blown away by how great they are, both in implementation and design. That's thanks in part to us having the best, most capable design team we have ever had in iOS Club. So, to understand how we got to this point, let's review a little bit of the history of design in iOS Club. When I joined 2.5 years ago, it was our second semester doing the project-based structure, and I was one of only 8 designers to be in the club. At the time, we were really distant from developers and weren't considered a part of the team. In fact, it surprised them when we showed up to meetings. They just kind of expected us to work on our own and show up with designs. There was no sense of community because we didn't know each other and we never had the opportunities to interact. And we had no guidance because we were all just free floating without any central leadership. But now we have over 20 designers in iOS Club. They're all an integral part of their team who attend weekly meetings with the developers, And they've built a strong community amongst themselves. So they're all very supportive of each other and push each other to make the most amazing experiences they can. But what is design? A lot of you would say design is how things look, but that's only half the story. That would be UI, or user interface design. That's essentially the aesthetics and the visuals of the design. But when you hear UI, I know your brain auto-completes it with UI, UX. So what is UX? UX is the user experience. Most importantly, it makes it easy and intuitive for users to understand how to use your app. It also is how it makes the users feel. So, to understand how apps make users feel, let's take a look at how some of the apps we've showcased today make their users feel. Keepsake makes its users feel nostalgic by having them by having them relive some of life's most precious moments. Architect makes its users feel inspired by allowing them to step into amazing homes designed by other people to draw inspiration so they can design their dream home. Study Buddy makes its users feel educated by making it easy to search for course materials and find the most important things for whatever they're studying for. Gauge makes its users feel expressive by encouraging them to share their hottest takes that they might not share on other platforms. iPlay makes its users feel competitive by having them compete against each other in fun and engaging mini-games. And finally, Canvas Plus makes its users feel prepared by making it the easiest way to navigate Canvas, which we all know can be a bit of a challenge. And this is all thanks to all of these amazing designers you see on screen now. Now, to tell you a bit more about the design process in depth on one of our apps, I'm going to pass it off to Tim Arendt from Architect.
Thank you for the introduction, Gabe. So today I'm going to be talking a little bit how iOS Club has introduced me to a new art form, app design. Now, I'm not like a lot of you. I'm a physics major, and that's what I graduated in. Though I always had a big creative side, and I wanted to explore that somehow, so I came to iOS Club. And I've only been in this club for a year, and this is what I've learned in it. So before I even opened Figma, which I did teach myself this year with y'all's help, I ask, how do I want users to feel? Our apps are more than interfaces. They're experiences. And then it's all about aligning everything. Aligning isn't just visual, it's emotional. Everything from spacing, hierarchy, typography, to the intent of the screen should line up. And then you build with precision. I'm one who's obsessive about details, a perfectionist, like I know many of you are, such as dealing with padding, font, weights, even icon spacing. I believe small decisions like this compound into trust for users. And then finally, iterating with intention. Iteration isn't about changing things randomly. It's surgical, refining until it clicks. So let's see how I did this with Architect this semester. Starting with user flows is a great way to map the experience emotionally before visually with the app. This helped us make our Architect feel intuitive. Like the next step is always obvious, never forced. Even the diagram itself reflects our values: clear hierarchy, minimal branching, and no clutter. And then we move on to wireframes. And this is where I focus on clarity and intent. Before color, before type, this is the scaffolding for architect's experience: clean grids, natural rhythm, and no distractions. I wanted it to feel familiar, but still tailored to AR. Every card and icon and tab, it has a job here. And then we move on to lo-fi designs. But of course, even authentication deserves love, which they don't want us to show this time. But it's the first thing that the user sees. These lo-fi screens focus on spacing and clarity and emotional tone. I wanted it to feel calm instead of clinical. It needed to be neutral and trustworthy. So there's no color, there's no noise, just structure for the lo-fi designs. That's all you need to focus on there. And then once you move to hi-fi, that's where everything is brought to life with warmth and softness and personality of your app. We use calming tones and rounded forms in line art to hint at what's coming for when you log into the app. The line art only lives here, but it sets the vibe, not the style of the rest of the app, of course. But everything here feels intentional, from the login button to the rounded corners and the padding on the screen. Everything is with intent, and everything is with precision. And that's how you design for iOS apps. And now I'd like to pass it back to Raul.
Thank you, Tim and Gabe. All right, so we're now getting into the voting section of our presentation, where you have the chance to vote for your favorite app, and that team will get the prize for, or rather the label of, the most popular app today. So, are we getting the lights up? Getting the lights up? So we will give you exactly 3 minutes to vote. And I will display a QR code, so get ready. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, so hopefully you voted for your favorite app. Now, before we announce the results, we don't have one more thing, but I just want to say that this show would not have been possible without the incredible collaboration between a lot of people and the help of a lot of people. So first off, I want to thank my friend Yash, who's in the audience, for helping with the incredible videos that you saw at the beginning of the show. And secondly, I want to thank the entire exec team for basically putting up with me and making iOS Club so great over the past year. So a huge round of applause for the entire exec team. Now, for the next academic year, I'm going to introduce the incoming exec board, or have them introduce themselves. So let's have a huge round of applause for them.
Hey everyone, my name's Rick, and I'll be your next president for 25-26.
Hi, everyone. My name's Austin, and I will be the next VP of Projects. Super excited to guide y'all.
Hey everyone, I'm Shonak, and I'm the new VP of External Affairs.
Hi everyone, I'm Patrick, and I'll be your next VP of Design.
Hi, everyone. I'm Hiba, and I'll be your new marketing lead.
I'm Alec, and I'm going to be your next VP of Bootcamp.
And Datta couldn't make it because unfortunately he is taking a 3210 exam. It's unfortunate, but he will be our next VP of Operations too. Really grateful, really thankful for this opportunity, and we will continue to make iOS Club a better club and bring iOS app development to the Georgia Tech community. Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to announce the results.
Who's ready for the winners? Okay, first up, we have our best design, which goes to Gage. And next, we have popular app. Popular app, architect. Okay, and now for the overall winner of iOS Club Demo Day Spring 2025. Can I get a drum roll? Good. Yay! Congrats, everyone. If y'all want to come up, the winners, so we can take pictures, feel free. But yeah, that was Demo Day Spring 2025. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Hope to see you next semester.